Captain Do-yoon Park looked out at the stars from the bridge of the transport ship Sanctuary. His ship was big and carried over 2,000 Navaran people. Most of them were old people, women, and children. They were running away from their home planet after it was attacked. "How are our engines, Minji?" Do-yoon asked his first officer. Minji Kang checked her screens. "Working at full power, Captain. We should reach Earth space in 3 days." Do-yoon nodded. The Navarans had been friends with Earth for 100 years. Earth had promised to help them if they were ever in danger. Now, that promise was being tested. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," said Taehyun, the young man working at the sensor station. His fingers moved quickly over the control panel. 6 ships just came out of faster-than-light travel behind us. Do-yoon felt a cold feeling in his stomach. "Show me." The main screen lit up with 6 red dots following their ship. The computer quickly matched their design. "Krivax warships," Minji said, her voice tight with fear. Everyone on the bridge went quiet. The Krivax were feared throughout this part of space. They were a race of tall, reptile-like aliens who conquered other worlds and made the people work for them. Some said they also did tests on the people they caught. "How fast are they going?" Do-yoon asked. "Much faster than us," Taehyun answered. "They'll catch us in 20 minutes. Do-yoon looked around at his crew. The Sanctuary was not a warship. It had some shields and a few small guns, but it was made to carry people, not fight. The Krivax ships were made for war. "Send a message to Earth Command," Do-yoon ordered. "Emergency code Alpha 9. Send them our location and tell them we have refugees on board." Minji nodded and began sending the message. "Will Earth come in time?" asked Jisoo, who worked the ship's engines. She was young, just 22 years old. This was her first job on a spaceship. "I don't know," Do-yoon said honestly. "But we have to try to stay alive until they can get here." The Sanctuary pushed its engines harder, but the Krivax ships kept getting closer. Soon they were only minutes away. "Captain, they're sending us a message," Minji said. "Put it on screen," Do-yoon ordered. The screen changed to show a Krivax commander. He was tall, with green-gray scales and yellow eyes with thin black lines for pupils. His mouth was full of sharp teeth. "Attention transport vessel," the Krivax said. "I am War Commander Vexicor of the Krivax Empire. Your ship and all people on it now belong to us. Stop your engines and prepare to be boarded. If you fight back, we will destroy you." Do-yoon stood tall. "This is Captain Do-yoon Park of the Earth-registered Transport Sanctuary. We are carrying civilian refugees, including many children. Under Earth law and space treaties, we demand safe passage." The Krivax commander made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Earth laws mean nothing here. You are far from Earth space. No one will come to help you. You have 10 minutes to stop your ship or we will open fire." The screen went dark. "He's wrong," Do-yoon said to his crew. "Earth will come, but we need to buy time." He turned to Minji. "How long would it take Earth ships to reach us if they left right after getting our message?" Minji did some quick math on her computer. "The nearest Earth fleet could be here in 3 hours if they pushed their engines to maximum." 3 hours. They needed to stay alive for 3 hours. "All crew battle stations," Do-yoon ordered over the ship-wide comm system. "This is not a drill. Prepare for attack." Throughout the Sanctuary, crew members ran to their posts. In the medical bay, Dr. Yoon-ji Kim prepared for wounded. In the engine room, Chief Engineer Junho set up emergency power systems. In the main hall where most of the refugees were staying, Security Officer Sunwoo and his team helped move people to safer, inner rooms. Back on the bridge, Do-yoon made another ship-wide announcement. "Attention all passengers and crew, we are being pursued by Krivax warships. We have sent an emergency call to Earth, but until help arrives, we must defend ourselves. All non-essential personnel and refugees should move to the central sections of the ship. Stay calm and follow crew instructions." He turned to his bridge crew. "Minji, I want you to send a message to the Krivax. Tell them we agree to stop and let them board." Everyone looked at him in shock. "But Captain," Taehyun started. Do-yoon held up his hand. "We won't really let them take the ship. But if they think we're giving up, they won't destroy us right away. They'll try to board instead. That gives us more time. Minji nodded and sent the message. What do we do when they try to board? Asked Jisoo. We fight, Do-yoon said simply. Security teams at all airlocks. We have 50 crew members with weapon training. The Navarans aren't fighters by nature, but some of their adults have volunteered to help. We set up barricades, hold them off as long as possible. The 10 minutes passed quickly. The sanctuary slowed its engines as promised, and the Krivax ships surrounded them. They're launching boarding ships, Taehyun reported, watching his screen. Do-yoon nodded. Just as I expected. Where will they try to enter? Airlocks 2, 5, and 7, Taehyun said. I've directed security teams to those locations. Do-yoon turned to his communications officer. Send one more message to Earth. Tell them exactly what's happening and that we'll try to hold out for 3 hours. The message was sent, racing through space toward Earth at faster-than-light speed. Captain, Minji said quietly, should we set the self-destruct? If they take the ship? Do-yoon looked at her, understanding her concern. The Krivax were known to do terrible things to the people they captured. Not yet, he said firmly. Earth will come. We just need to hold out. A loud boom echoed through the ship as the first Krivax boarding craft attached to their hull. They've reached airlock 2, Taehyun said. They're cutting through. All crew prepare for boarders, Do-yoon announced over the comm. Remember, we need to hold them off for 3 hours. Help is coming. As he spoke, the ship shook again as more Krivax boarding craft attached to their hull. The fight for the sanctuary was about to begin. Throughout the ship, crew members and Navaran volunteers gripped makeshift weapons and took positions behind barricades. In the heart of the ship, children huddled together in protected rooms while their parents prepared to defend them with their lives. The first airlock door began to glow red as the Krivax cut through it. Do-yoon took a deep breath. It begins. Admiral Hyun-woo Choi was in his office at Earth Command when the emergency message came in. He was a tall man with gray hair who had led Earth ships in 3 space wars. The message was marked with the highest emergency code, Alpha 9. Play. Message, he ordered his computer. The screen lit up to show a tired-looking man in a captain's uniform. This is Captain Do-yoon Park of the transport ship Sanctuary, the man said. We are carrying 2,000 Navaran refugees, including many children. We are being chased by 6 Krivax warships. Our location is Sector 42, Grid 19. We need immediate help. Admiral Hyun-woo stood up quickly. The Navarans were old friends of Earth. And the Krivax, he had heard many bad stories about them. Computer, when was this message sent? He asked. Message was sent 20 minutes ago, the computer answered in its calm voice. Hyun-woo pressed a button on his desk. This is Admiral Choi. I need the Prime Minister immediately. Also, alert the commanders of the 3rd and 7th Fleets to prepare for emergency deployment. 5 minutes later, Hyun-woo stood in the main command center. Around him, officers worked at their stations, preparing ships for battle. The big screen on the wall showed Prime Minister Ji Woo-seo, a serious woman with short black hair. Admiral, what's happening? She asked. Prime Minister, we've received an emergency call from a transport ship carrying Navaran refugees. Hyun-woo explained. They're being attacked by Krivax warships. The Prime Minister's face hardened. The Navarans have been our allies for 100 years. How many refugees? 2,000, ma'am. Including many children. And how many Krivax ships? 6 warships against 1 transport, Hyun-woo said. The transport has minimal weapons. They're defenseless. Prime Minister Ji-woo thought for a moment. We all know what happens to people captured by the Krivax. Hyun-woo nodded grimly. The Krivax used captives as slaves. Some were used for cruel experiments. Children were taken from their parents and raised to serve the Krivax Empire. What forces do we have available? The Prime Minister asked. The 3rd Fleet is closest, Hyun-woo replied. The Dreadnought Retribution and 4 battle cruisers. They can reach the sanctuary in 3 hours if they go at maximum speed. The 7th Fleet can follow with 12 more ships arriving 3 hours. After that, launch the Third Fleet immediately, the Prime Minister ordered. The Seventh Fleet should follow as backup. You have my full authority to do whatever is necessary to save those refugees. Yes, ma'am, Hyunwoo said. And, Admiral, the Prime Minister added, her voice cold, make sure the Kryvacs understand what happens when someone attacks people under Earth's protection. I understand, ma'am. The screen went dark. Hyunwoo turned to his staff. Alert the Third Fleet, battle stations. We launch in 20 minutes. In the massive hangar below Earth Command, ships were being prepared for war. The Retribution was the largest, a dreadnought over 2 kilometers long with the most powerful weapons in Earth's fleet. Around it, 4 battle cruisers stood ready, their crews running to their stations. Fleet Captain Min-ho Lee met Admiral Hyunwoo at the entrance to the Retribution. My crew is ready, Admiral, he said. All weapons are being prepared. We can leave in 15 minutes. Good, Hyunwoo said. We'll be pushing the engines beyond safe levels. I want to reach the sanctuary as quickly as possible. The engineers say we can cut the normal travel time by 25%, Min-ho replied, but it will put a lot of stress on the engines. Do it, Hyunwoo ordered. Every minute counts. Inside the Retribution, hundreds of crew members worked to prepare the ship. In the weapons room, Jinwoo and his team loaded the main kinetic drivers, massive guns that could fire metal projectiles at near light speed, hitting with enough force to cut through most ships. In the medical bay, Dr. Subin prepared for possible casualties. She had treated victims of Kryvacs attacks before. The thought of children in Kryvacs' hands made her work even faster. On the bridge, Navigation Officer Ji-yeon programmed the fastest possible route to the sanctuary's location. Admiral. Hyunwoo entered the bridge and took his seat in the command chair. All stations report, he ordered. Weapons ready, reported Weapons Officer Jinwoo. Engines at 120% capacity, said Engineering Chief Taeyong. Course plotted for fastest arrival, Ji-yeon added. Communications standing by, said Dahi, the communications officer. We're still receiving updates from the sanctuary. They're under attack, sir. The Kryvacs have attached boarding ships and are trying to take over the transport. Hyunwoo's face showed no emotion, but his hands tightened on the arms of his chair. All ships prepare for immediate departure, he ordered. This is a rescue mission with full combat authorization. The Kryvacs have attacked civilians under our protection. We will make them regret that decision. The massive engines of the Retribution glowed bright blue as they powered up. The other 4 ships of the Third Fleet did the same. Send a message to the sanctuary, Hyunwoo ordered. Tell them to hold on. Help is coming. As the Earth ships prepared to leave, another message arrived from the sanctuary. The face of Captain Do-yoon appeared on screen, looking worried but determined. Earth. Command, this is Captain Park. The Kryvacs have breached our hull in 3 places. My crew and some Navaran volunteers are fighting to hold them back. We've moved the children to the central core of the ship, but we can't hold out forever. Please, hurry. Admiral Hyunwoo looked at the tired captain. Captain Park, this is Admiral Choi of Earth Fleet Command. The Third Fleet is launching now with 5 warships, including the dreadnought Retribution. We will reach your position in 3 hours. Hold your position at all costs. Help is coming. Relief showed on Do-yoon's face. Thank you, Admiral. We'll hold as long as we can. The communication ended. Hyunwoo turned to his bridge crew. All ships launch now, he ordered. Maximum speed to the sanctuary's location. The 5 Earth ships rose from their docking ports and moved quickly away from Earth. Once they were a safe distance away, their FTL, faster-than-light engines engaged, and they disappeared in flashes of blue light. On the Retribution's bridge, Admiral Hyunwoo studied the information about the Kryvac ships. They've never encountered Earth military forces before, Captain Min-ho noted. Then this will be an education for them, Hyunwoo replied coldly. Weapons officer, prepare battle plans. When we arrive, I want to disable or destroy all Kryvac ships, as quickly as possible. Yes, sir, Jinwoo answered. The main kinetic drivers can target their engines and weapons first. Good. I want precision strikes. Remember, our first priority is the safety of the refugees on the sanctuary. As the Earth fleet raced through space, Admiral Hyunwoo thought about the Navaran refugees and the Earth crew fighting to protect them. 3 hours was a long time to hold out against Kryvak's borders. Faster, he told the engine room. Push the engines harder. We need to get there sooner. The engines are already at 125% of safe levels, Chief Engineer Taeyong replied. Going faster could cause them to fail. Then make sure they don't fail, Hyunwoo said firmly. Those people are counting on us. The Retribution and its escort ships hurtled through space, their engines glowing bright blue, leaving a trail of energy behind them. Inside the ships, crews checked their weapons and prepared for battle. The Kryvaks had made a terrible mistake. They had attacked the Helpless, and now Earth's fleet was coming. The sound of weapons fire echoed through the halls of the sanctuary. Captain Do-yoon and his crew had been fighting for almost an hour. The Kryvaks had entered the ship through 3 different places and were slowly pushing toward the center of the ship. Do-yoon ran down a corridor, his small energy pistol in hand. Beside him, First Officer Minji helped a wounded crew member walk. How bad is it? Do-yoon asked. We've lost airlocks 2 and 7, Minji said. Security Chief Sunwoo and his team are still holding at airlock 5, but they won't last much longer. They reached the medical bay, where Dr. Yoonji was treating the wounded. The room was full of injured crew members and Navaran refugees. Put him on the bed over there, Yoonji told them, pointing to an empty space. She looked tired but kept working. How many wounded? Do-yoon asked. 23 crew members and 35 Navarans so far, Yoonji replied. I'm running low on pain medicine. Do-yoon nodded grimly. Do what you can. Earth is coming, but we need to hold out for 2 more hours. His communication device beeped. Captain, this is Tae-hyun from the bridge. The Kryvaks have broken through airlock 5. Sunwoo and his team are falling back to checkpoint B. I'll be right there, Do-yoon said. He turned to Minji. Stay here and help Eunji. I'm going to checkpoint B. Minji looked worried. Be careful, Captain. Do-yoon ran through the ship's corridors. He passed groups of Navarans who were helping move supplies or caring for the wounded. The Navarans were a peaceful race, with blue-tinted skin and large eyes. They weren't fighters, but they were brave. At checkpoint B, Do-yoon found security. Chief Sunwoo and 10 crew members setting up a barricade. They were using tables, chairs, and metal panels to block the corridor. Captain, Sunwoo said when he saw Do-yoon. We couldn't hold them at the airlock. There were too many. How many Kryvaks are on board? Do-yoon asked. At least 50, maybe more, Sunwoo replied. They're well armed and wearing battle armor. We're hurting them, but not fast enough. Do-yoon looked at the tired defenders. Many had burns or cuts from the fighting. We just need to hold them off for 2 more hours, he said. Earth fleet is coming. 2 hours is a long time, Captain, one of the crew members said. Then we'll make every minute count, Do-yoon replied firmly. He helped them finish the barricade, then checked his weapon. From down the corridor, they heard the heavy footsteps of the Kryvaks approaching. Everyone, take positions, Sunwoo ordered. The defenders crouched behind the barricade, weapons ready. The first Kryvak soldiers appeared at the end of the corridor. They were tall, with scaly green-gray skin and yellow eyes. They wore black armor and carried large energy rifles. Now, Sunwoo shouted. The defenders opened fire. Energy beams flashed through the air. 2 Kryvaks fell, but the others kept coming. They fired back, their weapons more powerful than the defenders. Part of the barricade exploded, sending pieces flying. A crew member screamed and fell. Hold your positions, Do-yoon shouted over the noise. The battle at checkpoint B lasted 20 minutes. In the end, the defenders had to fall back again, leaving 4 dead or badly wounded. Do-yoon helped a wounded crew member walk as they retreated to the next checkpoint. His communication device beeped again. Captain, this is Junho from engineering. The Kryvaks are trying to break into the engine room. We need help. I can't be everywhere at once, Do-yoon said to himself. He pressed his comm button. Sunwoo, take half the team to engineering. I'll lead the rest to checkpoint C. The defenders split up. As Do-yoon's group moved through the ship, they passed the central area where many of the Navaran refugees were gathered. They looked scared, especially the children. An older Navaran approached Do-yoon. "Captain, we want to help fight," he said. Do-yoon looked at the Navaran. He was old, with wrinkled blue skin, but his eyes were determined. "We are not warriors," the old Navaran said. "But this is our fight too. Our children are in danger." Do-yoon nodded. "We need all the help we can get. Can your people use weapons?" "We can learn quickly," the old Navaran said. "And we know this ship well now. We can set traps for the Krivaks or guide your people through the back corridors." "Good," Do-yoon said. "Gather anyone who wants to help. We'll give you simple weapons and tasks." Soon, the Navarans were helping in many ways. Some carried messages between groups of defenders. Some helped move the wounded to the medical bay. Others learned to use simple weapons. In the engine room, Junyo and his team, along with Sunwoo's security officers, fought off a Krivaks attack. The Navarans helped by blocking side corridors with fallen equipment, forcing the Krivaks to come through the main door where the defenders were waiting. At checkpoint C, Do-yoon and his team held back another group of Krivak soldiers. A young Navaran named Jiho showed them a maintenance tunnel that let them attack the Krivaks from behind. 1 hour down, 1 more to go, Do-yoon said, checking the time. Throughout the ship, similar battles were happening. The defenders were losing ground slowly, but they were making the Krivaks pay for every meter. In the medical bay, Dr. Yoonji and Minji had moved the most badly wounded to a more secure room deeper in the ship. They knew if the Krivaks broke through, the wounded would be killed. "How much longer?" Yoonji asked, wiping sweat from her face as she treated a burn on a crew member's arm. "About an hour until Earth Fleet arrives," Minji replied. She was helping by cleaning wounds and giving medicine. "I hope we can last that long," Yoonji said. Suddenly the lights flickered. "They're attacking the power systems," Minji realized. She pressed her comm button. "Junho, they're hitting the power grid." "I know." Junho's voice came back, the sound of weapon fire in the background. "We're trying to reroute power to the essential systems." Throughout the ship, the lights dimmed, as power was diverted to the shields, life support, and communication systems. In the darkened corridors, the fighting became more dangerous. The Krivaks had better night vision than humans, giving them an advantage. Do-yoon and his team fell back to checkpoint D, the last defense before the central core where the Navaran children and elders were sheltered. They were all tired and many were wounded. "Captain," Taehyun called from the bridge, "the Krivaks commander is sending a message. He wants to talk to you." Do-yoon found a working screen and answered the call. The Krivaks commander's face appeared, scaly and cruel. "Captain Park," the Krivak said, "you have fought well, but this is pointless. Surrender now, and I will let your crew live as slaves. Continue fighting, and they will all die." "We know what happens to people who surrender to the Krivaks," Do-yoon replied. "We'll keep fighting," the Krivaks commander hissed angrily. "You have 30 minutes before we break through to your central core. Then the Navaran children will join the Krivaks breeding program, and the rest will work in our mines until they die. We just need to hold out for 45 more minutes," Do-yoon said to his officers after the call ended. "Earth Fleet will be here soon." But he wasn't sure they could last that long. The Krivaks were getting closer to the central core, and his defenders were running out of energy for their weapons. Do-yoon's comm beeped. It was Sunwoo. "Captain, the Krivaks have broken through at Section 12. They'll reach the central core in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. They needed to hold out for 45. Do-yoon looked at his tired team. "We need a new plan." Admiral Hyunwoo stood on the bridge of the dreadnought Retribution. The massive ship was moving faster than it was designed to go. Behind it, 4 battlecruisers struggled to keep up. "Status report," Hyunwoo ordered. Captain Minho checked his screens. Engines at 135% of safe levels. Hull temperature rising but still within acceptable limits. Weapons are ready. All ships report battle readiness. "Time to target?" Hyunwoo asked. 20 minutes, Admiral," Navigation Officer Ji-yeon replied. "Any new messages from the sanctuary?" Hyunwoo asked Communications Officer Da-hee. "Yes, sir. Their last message came 10 minutes ago. The Krivaks have taken most of the ship. Captain Park and the remaining defenders are making a last stand at the central core where the children are." Hyunwoo's face hardened. Can we go any faster? Chief Engineer Taeyong's voice came over the comm. Admiral, the engines are already past the danger point. Going any faster could cause them to fail completely. Push them to 140%, Hyunwoo ordered. We need to get there sooner. Yes, sir, Taeyong replied. But I can't promise the engines will hold. The massive engines of the Retribution glowed even brighter. The ship shuddered as it picked up more speed. Signal the other ships to match our speed if they can, Hyunwoo told communications. On the weapons deck, Jinwoo and his team made final checks on the ship's main weapons. The kinetic drivers were ready, loaded with projectiles that could tear through a Kryvax ship's hull. All weapons show green, Jinwoo reported to the bridge. We're ready to fire the moment we arrive. Good, Hyunwoo said. I want the first shots to count. As the Earth ships raced through space, the mood on the bridge was tense. Everyone knew what was at stake. 15 minutes to target, Ji-yeon announced. Show me the latest scan of the area, Hyunwoo ordered. A holographic display appeared showing the sanctuary surrounded by 6 Kryvax ships. The transport's shields were down and its hull had been breached in multiple places. Tactical assessment, Hyunwoo asked. Captain Minho studied the display. The Kryvax have positioned their ships poorly. They weren't expecting a counterattack. If we drop out of FTL here, he pointed to a spot, we can hit 3 of their ships in the first volley before they can react. Good. That's our plan, Hyunwoo said. Target their weapons and engines first. I want them disabled before they can respond. The bridge crew worked quickly, plotting firing solutions and preparing for battle. 10 minutes to target, Ji-yeon announced. Meanwhile, aboard the sanctuary, Captain Do-yoon and his remaining crew were fighting desperately. They had retreated to the entrance of the central core, where the Navaran children and elders were hiding. How? Much longer until Earth arrives? Minji asked. She had a burn on her arm from a Kryvax weapon. Do-yoon checked his communicator. About 15 minutes if they maintain top speed. We won't last 5, Sunwoo said grimly. His security team was down to just 6 people, and they were almost out of energy for their weapons. The corridor outside the central core was filled with smoke and the sound of Kryvax weapons. The defenders could hear the aliens getting closer. We need a new plan, Do-yoon said. He turned to an old Navaran who had been helping them. Are there any other ways into the central core beside this main door? The old Navaran thought for a moment. There is a maintenance shaft that connects to the air recycling system. It's small, but a Kryvax soldier might fit through it. Show me, Do-yoon ordered. The Navaran led him to a small panel in the wall. Behind it was a narrow tunnel that led to the central core. Sunwoo, station 2 people here, Do-yoon ordered. Make sure no Kryvax gets through this way. Suddenly, the ship shook violently. What was that? Minji asked. Do-yoon contacted the bridge. Taehyun, what's happening? The Kryvax are firing on the ship. Taehyun's voice was panicked. They're trying to disable our engines completely so we can't escape. Another blast rocked the ship. They're getting impatient, Do-yoon said. They want to finish this before Earth arrives. We need to buy more time, Minji said. Do-yoon thought for a moment. I have an idea. It's risky, but it might work. He quickly explained his plan. They would make the Kryvax think they were surrendering. When the Kryvax commander came to accept their surrender, they would spring a trap. It's dangerous, Minji said, but it's our best chance. Do-yoon contacted the Kryvax commander. The alien's scaly face appeared on his communicator screen. Captain Park, the Kryvax said, ready to surrender? Yes, Do-yoon lied. We can't hold out any longer, but I want your promise that the children won't be harmed. The Kryvax commander made a sound like a laugh. You're not in a position to make demands, but I will come to accept your surrender personally. It's not every day that humans admit defeat. We'll open the main door to the central core, Do-yoon said. Come unarmed, and I'll come unarmed too. Do you think I'm a fool? The Kryvax asked. I'll bring guards, of course. Just 2, Do-yoon said, to show good faith. The Kryvax agreed. The communication ended. Get ready, Do-yoon told his team. This has to work perfectly. They quickly set their trap. Two Navarans who knew the ship's systems would shut off the lights at the right moment. The defenders would hide, ready to attack, when the lights went out. 5 minutes until Earth fleet arrives, Taehyun reported from the bridge. Just need to buy 5 minutes, Do-yoon said. The main door to the central core opened. The Krivak's commander entered, with 2 guards behind him. He was even taller in person, his yellow eyes scanning the room. Where are the children? He asked. Safe, Do-yoon replied. First we discuss terms. The Krivak's commander stepped closer. There are no terms. You have lost. The Navarans belong to us now. The children will serve the Empire. Now, Do-yoon shouted. The lights went out. In the darkness, the defenders attacked. Sunwoo and his team tackled the 2 guards. Do-yoon jumped at the commander. The fight was chaotic. The Krivaks had better night vision, but the defenders knew where they were standing. Shots were fired. Someone screamed. When emergency lights came on, Do-yoon was on the floor, bleeding from a cut on his head. The Krivak's commander stood over him, holding a blade. Foolish human, the Krivaks hissed. Now you'll all die. He raised the blade, ready to kill Do-yoon. But before he could strike, the entire ship shook violently. A deep boom echoed through the hull. The Krivak's commander staggered. What was that? Do-yoon smiled, despite his pain. That would be Earth. In space around the sanctuary, flashes of light appeared as 5 Earth warships dropped out of FTL travel. The massive dreadnought Retribution led the formation, its weapons already firing. The first shots from the Earth ships hit 3 Krivak's vessels before they could react. 1 Krivak ship was cut nearly in half by the Retribution's main kinetic driver. Another lost its engines and weapons in a series of precise hits. On the Retribution's bridge, Admiral Hyunwoo watched the battle unfold. Direct hits on 3 enemy vessels, Weapons Officer Jinwoo reported. 2 are disabled, 1 is breaking apart. The other Krivak ships are powering weapons, Captain Minho warned. Target their weapons first, Hyunwoo ordered. Then their engines. I want them disabled, not destroyed yet. The Earth ships moved with perfect coordination. Each knew its target and role. The battle cruisers focused on the smaller Krivak's vessels, while the Retribution engaged the Krivak's flagship. The Krivaks are returning fire, Jinwoo reported. Energy beams from the Krivak ships lanced out, hitting the Earth vessels. But the Earth ships had much stronger shields. Shields holding at 85%, reported Defense Officer Jisoo. Minimal damage. Continue. The attack, Hyunwoo ordered. And prepare boarding teams. We need to get our people off the sanctuary. Within minutes, the battle had turned decisively in Earth's favor. 4 Krivak ships were disabled or destroyed. The 5th was trying to escape, but was quickly caught by 2 Earth battle cruisers. Only the Krivak's flagship was still fighting, exchanging fire with the Retribution. Their shields are failing, Jinwoo reported. 1 more hit from the main kinetic. Driver will finish them. Hold fire, Hyunwoo ordered. Hail them. The face of the Krivak's fleet commander appeared on screen. Unlike the ground commander, this one had red markings on his scales, showing higher rank. This is Admiral Hyunwoo Choi of Earth Fleet Command, Hyunwoo said coldly. Your ships are destroyed or disabled. Surrender now, the Krivak's commander hissed. Humans, you dare intervene in Krivak's business? Those are our allies you attacked, Hyunwoo replied. Defenseless refugees, children, you made it our business. On the sanctuary, the Krivak's ground troops were in chaos. Their commander was being held at gunpoint by Do-yoon's team, and they had lost contact with their ships. What's happening? 1. Krivak soldier asked, looking out a window and seeing the destroyed Krivak's vessels. Earth has arrived, Do-yoon said, standing up despite his wound. And they don't look happy. The Krivak's fleet commander glared at Admiral Hyunwoo from the view screen. His ship was badly damaged, with fires visible in the background. Surrender now, Hyunwoo repeated, or be destroyed. The Krivak's empire does not surrender, the alien commander hissed, especially not to humans. Hyunwoo's face showed no emotion. You have 1 minute to reconsider. After that, we will open fire. The Krivak's commander cut the communication. Prepare all weapons, Hyunwoo ordered. Target their bridge and engines. Yes, sir, weapons officer Jinwoo replied. His fingers moved over his control panel, locking weapons onto the Krivak's flagship. 30 seconds, Captain Minho said, watching the timer. On the bridge of the Retribution, everyone was silent, waiting. The Krivaks had attacked defenseless refugees. They had tried to capture children. The Earth fleet had come to deliver justice. 10 seconds, Minho said. Suddenly, the communication screen lit up again. The Krivak's commander appeared, his yellow eyes filled with hate. We'll stand down, he said, his voice tight with anger. Power down all weapons and engines, Hyunwoo ordered. Prepare to be boarded. The Krivak's commander hissed, but gave the orders to his crew. Keep weapons locked on them, Hyunwoo told. Jinwoo. If they try anything, destroy them. Hyunwoo turned to communications officer Dahi. Contact the sanctuary. Tell them we've secured the area and are sending help. On the sanctuary, Captain Do-yoon and his remaining crew were still holding the Krivak's ground commander prisoner. Many of the Krivak soldiers had surrendered when they heard their ships had been defeated. Others were still fighting in other parts of the ship. Do-yoon's communicator beeped. Captain Park, this is Admiral Choi. The Krivak's fleet has been neutralized. We're sending boarding teams to help secure your ship and evacuate the wounded. Relief washed over Do-yoon's tired face. Thank you, Admiral. We have many wounded who need immediate medical care. Our medical teams are already on their way, Hyunwoo replied. Hold your position. Help is coming. 20 minutes later, Earth. Marines in combat armor moved through the sanctuary, capturing the remaining Krivak soldiers. Medical teams followed, treating the wounded. In the central core, Dr. Yoonji and the Navaran adults worked to calm the frightened children. When the Earth Marines arrived, the children cheered. Marine Commander Hajin led the first team into the central core. She found Captain Do-yoon sitting against a wall being treated for his head wound by Minji. Captain Park? Hajin asked. I'm Commander Yu, Earth Fleet Marines. We're here to help. You're right on time, Commander, Do-yoon said with a tired smile. Marines quickly secured the ship, capturing or killing all the remaining Krivak's boarders. Medical teams from the Earth ships helped Dr. Yoonji treat the wounded. The most serious cases were moved to the Retribution's advanced medical bay. Admiral Hyunwoo arrived on the sanctuary 2 hours later. He walked through the damaged corridors, seeing the evidence of the desperate fight. Inside the central core, he found Do-yoon giving orders for the ship's repairs. Captain Park, Hyunwoo said, extending his hand. Well done. You held out long enough. Do-yoon shook the Admiral's hand. We nearly didn't. Another 10 minutes and the Krivaks would have taken the children. But they didn't, Hyunwoo said firmly. Because of your courage and the bravery of your crew. Hyunwoo looked around at the Navaran refugees. Many were injured, and all looked tired and scared. But they were alive. The Krivak's fleet commander has surrendered, Hyunwoo told Do-yoon. I want him and his ground commander to see what they almost destroyed. Later, on the bridge of the Retribution, the two Krivak's commanders were brought before Admiral Hyunwoo. Their hands were bound and they were guarded by armed Marines. Look at the screen, Hyunwoo ordered them. The main view screen showed the central core of the sanctuary, where the Navaran children were being treated and fed by Earth medical staff. These are the ones you wanted to capture, Hyunwoo said coldly. Children, fleeing from a war zone under Earth's protection, the Krivak's fleet commander hissed. The weak serve the strong. This is the way of the universe. No, Hyunwoo replied. The strong protect the weak. That is humanity's way. And now, you will take a message back to your empire. He stepped closer to the Krivak's commanders, his voice hard as steel. The Navarans are under Earth's protection. All refugees in this sector are under our protection. If the Krivak's empire ever attacks them again, we will not stop with disabling your ships. We will take the fight to your worlds. The Krivak's ground commander spoke up. You would go to war for these weak aliens? Without hesitation, Hyunwoo replied. Remember what happened here today. You brought 6 warships against 1 transport. You thought no one would come to help them. You were wrong. He turned to Captain Minho. Prepare a small ship for these, too. They will return to Kryvax space with our message and the records of this battle. The Kryvax commanders were led away. Do you think they'll heed the warning? Minho asked. If they're smart, they will, Hyunwoo replied. If not, we'll be ready. 3 days later, the sanctuary was repaired enough to travel again. With an escort of 2 Earth battle cruisers, it continued its journey to Earth space, carrying the Navaran refugees to their new home. On the observation deck of the sanctuary, Captain Do-yoon stood with First Officer Minji, watching the stars. His head was bandaged and he walked with a limp, but he was alive. 28 crew members dead, Do-yoon said quietly. And 43 Navarans. Too many, but over 1,900 survived, Minji reminded him. Including all the children. Because of what we did. Because Earth came. Do-yoon nodded slowly. The Kryvax thought targeting the helpless was smart. They didn't expect such a response. That's because they don't understand humans, Minji said. They see protecting the weak as a waste of resources. They'll never understand why Earth sent 5 warships to save 1 transport. Perhaps that's their greatest weakness, Do-yoon said. They don't understand that true strength isn't about crushing the helpless. It's about protecting them. On a nearby bench, an old Navaran sat with 3 small children. He was telling them a story about brave humans who came from the stars to save them. The children listened, wide-eyed, as he described how Earth's fleet arrived without mercy against those who had threatened them. The children will remember, Minji said, watching them. They'll grow up knowing that when they needed help, Earth came. Do-yoon smiled, feeling the weight of the past days lifting slightly. Yes, and perhaps someday when someone else needs help, they'll remember this story and come to their aid too. The sanctuary continued its journey through space, surrounded by the protective presence of Earth's warships. Behind them in Kryvax space, a small ship carried 2 commanders and a message. Those who target the helpless would face Earth's fleet, arriving without mercy, and in the vastness of space, word began to spread of what had happened. Other races heard how humans had traveled faster than safe speeds, risking their ships and lives to save refugees who weren't even their own species. They heard how Earth's fleet had arrived and dealt swift justice to the attackers. Many didn't understand. Why would humans risk so much for aliens who couldn't offer much in return? But the Navarans understood. As their children played safely in the halls of the sanctuary, protected by Earth ships, they knew the answer, because that's what humans do. They protect the helpless. And woe to those who forget this truth. The end.